Okay, guys, it's Kazkira4, and I'm going to do a series review of the manga Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I finished it a while back. It took me a little while to complete because I was busy with different stuff. I finished it early in the summer. I've been meaning to review it, but just not had the time, so I'm going to review it now. That way I don't pass up on the chance. Now I'm going to try my best to review this series, and I'm probably not going to do a good enough job of reviewing it or selling it to you guys, but it is a good series worth reading. If you don't like the fact that it's this series because you like the original more, I like the original, but this is actually enjoyable. I like all the different, because I'm such a Yu-Gi-Oh fanboy, I like all the different separate series. I like Zeal, 5D, GX, all of it. And this is, I'm not just saying it as a fanboy, it is worth reading. It's got an interesting storyline to it that connects a little bit to the original, but it is worth reading. So basically, the characters are a little different if you're familiar. Jaden's pretty much the same. Chaz is slightly different in this series. See, Zane is about the same. Atticus is a little different in this series. And, yeah. So, first I'll show you the front covers of all the volumes, just to show you something. So there's always a showing of a different character on the front with their, like, like the ace in the hole. So there's Jaden with Elemental Hero Terra Firma, which is basically his ace in this series. He's got a completely different hero deck, although you do see him use some of the classic heroes in like a flashback, which is pretty interesting read, to be honest. There's Chaz with Light and Darkness Dragon, which is his. Bastion with, I think his name's Red Oni. There's Saros with 3 Roids, and in this series, his Roid monsters are, who can I compare it to? They're basically like the XYZ of the series. Like a load of his Roids connect together and form much stronger monsters. It's pretty good, and Saros is a little more confident in the series than anything. He's not as much of a whimper or pushover. There's Alexis with, I think, Ice Queen, I think her name is. This is a completely original character. I can't remember her name at the moment. With the monster Splendid Venus, I think so. I think that's her name. Here's Zane with his, like, you only see his Zane duel once in this series, unfortunately. And this is basically his pro monster there, and he still uses the Cyber Dragons. So that's pretty cool. This is Atticus with his pro base. I can't remember the name of the monster, unfortunately, but a lot of it is to do with wind and monsters that carry spheres, like you can see on the monster's chest. And on the final one, we've got Jaden, that looks like he's from his Season 4 look. Season 4 look, and this guy, who's an original character of the series that helped Jaden become a hero, encouraged Jaden in dueling, made Jaden more into a hero user, which is pretty cool. Basically, as you can tell, the volume 9 is much thicker than the rest and finishes the whole story. Worth the read. You should get a card with, well, you should get a card with all of them, but some of them don't come with cards, unfortunately. So volumes 7, 8, and 9 do. 6 doesn't, apparently. I think it depends where you get them from. Some do, some don't come with cards. So I'm not sure if it's just the UK releases or American releases as well, but unfortunately that. So you do get cards with some of them, which is another reason of getting them, just to get the special cards with them. But yeah, if you know the heroes like Terra Firma, if you know all the like the elemental, like the real elemental heroes like Great Tornado, so basically the ones that use 2 heroes and one of them uses a hero and an element. This basically holds those kind of heroes in here. You see pretty good stuff from the series, to be honest. It is worth reading, and it was sad reading the 9th volume because it ended on such a good cliffhanger that's not going to continue on, but it ended brilliantly. It started well. It just goes straight into the story, so if you've seen GX, you know round about the characters. So it goes straight on with Jaden dueling some professor who's cheating the students, and I think he's cheating them out of their rare cards or getting them kicked out of Duel Academy. And this is set in Japan, so you do see some of the other characters like Jesse, who has the crystal beasts, Axel, Jim, all those lot come back, but they are kind of different with different decks. For example, sorry to give spoilers, but Jesse's a bug user, and he basically stays the same, a nice guy and everything. Adrian comes back into it. Oh, but I can't remember the kind of cards he uses. I think he uses kind of like fiends that use a continuous spell card to use their effects and stuff like that. Axel uses, I think, effect damage or fire cards. Can't remember. Jim uses reptile monsters like alligators and stuff, which seems more like him than the anime series, to be honest. And you get to see Aster Phoenix in this as well, and he uses not Destiny heroes but Vision heroes, which is kind of another way of saying Destiny, I guess. And Jaden gets a new deck through the series, so that's pretty good from Volume 7 onwards. We only get to see it 3 times, but it is pretty good when he uses them. And I actually started buying a few of the cards he uses after finishing the series because I was so interested in it. So you get to see Elemental Heroes, Vision Heroes, which there's only 2 Vision Heroes that you can actually get in card, and they're fusions that use any heroes you want. And we get to see the Masked Heroes, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it is worth the read. The story's just compelling. There's surprises throughout the series. I'm pretty sure you get mentions on some of the classic characters as well. The real story kicks off about Volume 2 onward, I'd say. Volume 1 is just to get people into the series, and Volume 2 to 9 really sets the plot line and everything, so it is worth reading for anyone who's interested or just a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan. It's worth the read. It's a good series. I would recommend it to any Yu-Gi-Oh fan. And yeah. So I've got to say, there's tons of new characters you haven't seen before. Characters that are a bit different. And yeah, I hope this review did the series enough justice. Alright. So yeah, this is my review of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And yeah. Yes. And the original concept was by Kazuki Takahashi, so I think he gave the idea about it, and the story in that was done by Naoyuki Kagiyama. Good series. When I finish ZL and 5D, I will be reviewing those as well. So, and Duelist, but that's going to take a while because I haven't got a lot of the volumes. I've got probably less than 10 of them. There's about 23, 24 Duelist volumes. So yeah, and I've reviewed Yu-Gi-Oh! R and Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0 manga. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. And that's it. This is Character Hero 4 saying thank you and goodbye.